Hi and welcome to the Pekama Getting Started guide. The intention of this video is to guide a new user through some of the basics of Pekama, help them get started, create their first project and hopefully introduce them to the system. So here we go. First of all, we are going to start here at the login page. This is obviously pretty self-explanatory. The expectation is that by this point you would have created your own user account. I'm just using my test account here for Sally Snowdrop. So we log in. Logging in, of course, takes you to the dashboard. Here we have an overview of what it is in the system. Now, there's not a lot of information on this one. It's a new test account. So there is some information about the team that Sally's in. There's nothing in the task list yet, or in her calendar, or even in the projects yet. So let's go ahead and create our first project. We can do that straight from the dashboard here by clicking on the new button, or we can go to the projects tab, but we'll create a trademark project here straight from the dashboard. So for this example, we're going to create a European trademark project. As you can see, we just type in trademark there. It finds it. We select it. Again, for the European Union, we do that. We'll skip the serial number there, but we will add a title, which will be something you decide. And again, with the reference number, that can be something you use within your firm to catalog or, demark your matters. So now we're going to start populating this project with some information. The first thing we're going to do is change the type to basic filing and the subtype to a composite mark. This is something that you don't necessarily need to do, but going forward it will help you navigate your way around the system more easily. It'll help you find the projects you want more easily. So it's worth doing when you're setting up your project. Next, we're going to add some contacts. So we'll click on the contacts icon. We go down to add a new contact. As you see, when we start typing in the text entry box here, Pekama will immediately search through the existing contacts for your account, and it will, if they are already in the system, then you can just add them directly. In this case, because this is a new test account, we don't have any contacts available, and as you can see, as we start writing somebody's name in there, the option to create a new contact pops up, and we can just start filling out this form here for whoever this person is. In this case, Jim Client, we're going to put in his first name, last name, email address, and then click OK, and that will now allow us to add him as a client or whatever relationship to this project. And we can go through and add a bunch more contacts, and you can choose as a user what role they have for your project. So we have a couple of contacts added now to our project. So let's next add some events. Now, this is a good feature of Pekama that allows anyone logging in and taking a look at their projects very easy visibility of what it is that's happening within their project. So users can add events, they can be automatically added and triggered dependent on certain actions, or we can pull information down from things like the European Patent Office, and those events will populate the project. For now, we're just going to manually add an event, and as it's a basic filing for a trademark, then the obvious one to add is application filed. And once we've done that, then we can click on show timeline, and we can get visibility of the Pekama timeline. We can see the event on there. Obviously, we give you the ability to hide this, but it's a good easy visual stimulation to allow users to see where they are, what's coming up in the near future. And we can edit that event. We can change the date if we want to. We can add some additional information, which is what I'm doing here. Just for reference purposes, you can put in comments or what have you there. And there it is on the timeline, and we're ready to go. Now, as a user, I may want to add some more events on our timeline, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. As you can see, if I start typing in the event type box here, then a list of events that Pekama is aware of already will appear, allowing me to select one of these events. Also, you can type in a new event and add that to as you want. Moving on, now we are going to add some classes. Obviously, you can add some numbers here. Again, these fields can be populated automatically depending on what your project topic is or project type is. In this case, we're just going to manually add some classes here. So we've added a class here, and we can add a number too. So I'm just going to add the application number as well, just to show you that it can be done. All of these things, as you can see, the little icons to the right there allow you to go back and edit any of these details at a further point. You can, change the number if you got that wrong. You can change the text associated with the class or the numbers. And all of this information will be searchable as you add it to the system, and making the finding the information that you want at a later stage very easy. So you will be able to search by application number, you'll be able to search by your reference number, by your contacts, whoever. Now we're going to move on to conversations or chat. This is a great strength of Pekama. It allows secure messaging, conversations, whatever you want to call it, within the system between between lawyers and their clients, or between legal teams, whoever's working on the project, or whoever you want to invite to interact. If you are part of a law practice and you want to bring somebody into your project, you can start a chat with them, and in doing so, they will have access to everything within the project. So here we go. We're going to click on the new button next to conversations here, and this will pop up a dialogue, and it's similar, I guess, to an email at this point. You type in a subject, then you go down and you can add underneath any person that you want to join in with this conversation. Now, for this one, just getting started with a project, with a new project, we're working on the principle that Sally Snowdrop here has received an email from her client asking her to register a trademark. And so she's come to Pekama, she has opened a new project, and she wants to get that email into Pekama as basically as a starting point. So she's creating a blank conversation at this point, not inviting anybody in, create that there. And she's then going to click on this little envelope icon, and in doing so, that will give her a unique link for Pekama, which she can use to forward her initial email to. This is great functionality because it allows you to bring external emails from outside of Pekama into the system with the relevant information, documents, etc., and they will end up in the project. So I'm going to copy that link there. You're not going to see me go off to an external email program, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to forward that email with an attachment into the project. And after some time, that email arrives in our team chat section. And perhaps the best part of this functionality really is what it does with the attachment. The attachment, as you can see, has ended up in our chat there. But also, if we go over to our doc section on the right, then the document is there. So that means that if you have documents flying here, there, and everywhere in your email, you can just forward them into Pekama. They will arrive in the project. You've got easy access to them. You can, at a later stage, you can connect them to Box. You can sync them with Box. You can get versioning on them. You can edit them from within your web browser. This is very powerful and interesting, exciting functionality, we think. We'll talk at a later stage a little bit more about conversations and chat, and then moving on to the new email functionality that we've implemented in Pekama. But now we're just going to touch on tasks and show you what or how they're used within the Pekama system. So we move over, click on the tasks icon on the right hand side of the project and choose to add a new task. So then we can add the details we want for this task. You can set the assigner, the assignee, the status, how important it is, and obviously the due dates right at the top there. Click OK, and this will again appear in the project. You'll also see these tasks on the task tab, which we'll go through later, and on the dashboard. One of the really powerful parts of Pekama is the template section, which we will again talk about later on. But with regards to tasks, what you can do here is you can have task templates which are created, can be reused again and again, but these can also be auto-deployed and triggered by events within your project. So if you create a new event or a new event is auto-created, then tasks can appear within the project or within your dashboard on your tasks list automatically. We'll go through that on another video, because it does take a little bit of setting up to get it working the way you want, but it's very powerful. It takes a little bit of setting up, as I said, but then once it's all in place, then it will save you an awful lot of time with regards to the whole task management aspect of Pekama. So as we close that task dialog, we can now see that the project is beginning to look a little bit more complex. It's got more information on it, all of this that we've added. And as the project progresses, as the trademark application goes out and information comes back, then we can add more and more information to this project, making it visually quite easy to see what status it has, what's going on, and should anyone need to find out who's not the person who's populated this information, then they can do so by sharing it within your team. Going back to the dashboard, you can see that the project has now appeared in our projects box. You can see that down in the tasks box we have a list of tasks, and on the calendar there we also are beginning to see some of the tasks appear in there. As I said at the beginning, this is really a demonstration for a user coming new to the system. So there's not a lot of information here for us to look at, but hopefully that gives you a really good overview of how to get started. I would, if I were you, have a look at some of the other videos which will cover some of the more complex aspects of Pekama and some of the more interesting functionality. Thank you for watching. Please keep an eye on our YouTube channel for more videos as and when they come. Thank you.